Well, I came back from a lunch break. I went behind the counter to go pick up my trusty iPad I use for surveying. And I was talking to a coworker and I heard pop, 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 like 5 or 6 rounds go off. And I realized it was a gun, and I told him, I said, duck and cover. And I went right up underneath the counter, back behind the main counter, and I was sat there Indian style, and I called 911. I spoke with the nice lady. She told me to stay on the line. I gave her all the information I could, told her where the shooting occurred. I didn't see it, I just heard it, and I realized it was an active shooter. And then I was talking to her, giving her the exact location of where we were, telling her about aisle 3 and the entrance, and then I heard someone was hurt, and I said, also please send paramedics. And I stayed with her on the line until the police arrived and told us to evacuate.
You're watching a Pensacola Home Depot employee giving her account of the moment a man walked into the store and opened fire.
Maybe an hour ago?
Roughly within the last 45 minutes.
Have you had it? Did you check to see some of your other friends if they were okay? Or?
They pretty much ran for it from what I could see. I stayed in, out of sight, out of mind. Usually if you run from an active shooter, it's more of a target for them. So you want to duck and cover. I just called 911. I was very calm, very collected. Gave the operator all the information that I knew. She was very helpful, very kind and compassionate, and just told me to stay on the line until deputies arrived, and then they swarmed the place. And apparently someone gave a very good description. They were found. They have the suspect in custody. And I don't know how many people were injured. I heard just one died, and then while I was outside with my fellow employees, there was EMS called. I guess someone passed out. Yeah.
Officers caught the suspect right away. 2 employees injured and 1 female employee lost her life. The female identified as 18-year-old Brooklyn Sims, a single mother of a 2-year-old baby girl. It didn't take long for investigators to determine that this incident was not random, it was targeted. Brooklyn knew the suspect. He was her baby daddy, the father of their 2-year-old daughter. And now a second suspect is behind bars in Escambia County, Florida. And this one right here shocked everyone. Turns out the baby daddy's own mother was also involved in this crime. That's the grandmother of their 2-year-old daughter. The details on how this mother-son duo plotted on Brooklyn are absolutely disgusting. But first, take a second to make sure that you're subscribed to the channel and click the notification bell for all updates.
Family and friends coming together to remember the life of 18-year-old Brooklyn Sims, who was shot and killed while working at a Home Depot in Pensacola last Friday afternoon. Those closest to Brooklyn describe her as the life of the party and a loving mother to her 2-year-old daughter, Casey.
The way she could make you laugh. She could walk in a room and not say anything and just light up the whole room. I'm gonna miss that about her. It's a reason people used to call her my twin. Like, it's not just because we look alike. We act alike too.
Brooklyn was a soft-spoken young lady. She had a smile that would light up a room. She's a daughter, she's a sister, she's a cousin, and most importantly, she's a mother.
There was a balloon release for Brooklyn Sims in her hometown of Central Alabama. As her family and friends gathered, everyone knew that Keith, her baby daddy, was arrested for the crime. But what they didn't know is that his mother Sheila helped him out. Sheila showed up where she was holding her granddaughter to supposedly pay respects to the same woman that she set up. Brooklyn got pregnant at 15 by Keith, who was 2 years older. She delivered a baby girl but stopped seeing Keith 2 months after the birth of their daughter. According to her family, they said Keith was putting hands on Brooklyn, and that's why she stopped seeing him. Keith continued to see their daughter with his mom Sheila, who would often get the baby, and she maintained a relationship with Brooklyn. It was Sheila who helped Brooklyn get hired on with the company that provided contract inventory services for Home Depot. Sheila is also the one who dropped Brooklyn off to work that day, knowing exactly what was waiting for her.
We begin tonight with a bombshell revelation in the Home Depot shooting that killed an 18-year-old woman Friday. The suspect's mother, Sheila Agee, is now facing charges of principal to first-degree murder.
She was arrested last night shortly after attending a celebration of life for the teenager she is now accused of helping murder. That victim was Brooklyn Sims, and the suspected shooter is Sheila's son, Keith.
The Escambia County Sheriff's Office released text messages between Sheila and Keith. In them, we learned Sheila drove Sims to work that day, and she offers to tell her son where Sims was working. She also appears to egg him on.
The apparent plan was to get Sims in Sheila's car, then when she exits the car, Keith would follow and shoot her. Instead, it seems Keith simply drove to the Home Depot and opened fire there.
Now, it's not clear where Sheila was at the time of the shooting, but it seems she was at the Home Depot there.
Escambia County, Florida Sheriff Chip Simmons says she was seen outside the store after the shooting. Today, we asked him how this case compares to others he's seen.
And I don't know that I'm aware of one that kind of took this particular type of a turn. It's just shocking, and it's sad. Obviously, when you read the text, you see that, is there a way that you could have stopped this? Could you have said, I'm not telling you where we are, or don't do this type of thing? But unfortunately, that wasn't the case.
Tonight, we are also hearing from the victim's family.
They are devastated and say they don't understand why Brooklyn was murdered.
I was numb on Friday, and today I have mixed emotions. I'm angry, I'm hurt.
Roxana Roberson is Brooklyn Sims' cousin. She says the more they learn about the circumstances surrounding Brooklyn's murder, the more outraged they become, especially after reading the text exchange between the accused shooter, Keith Agee, and his mother, Sheila Agee.
And if you look at the text message, she's telling him, make sure that you don't shoot me. And if you don't shoot her, you are a bleeping. It's like she was almost daring her son to take someone else's life. Who does that?
Keith is Brooklyn's ex and the father of their 22-month-old daughter, Casey. Roxana says Sheila got Brooklyn the job working for a third-party contractor performing inventory at Home Depot. Roxana says Sheila drove Brooklyn to work and knew exactly what was going to happen to her on Friday.
That is the most sickest thing that you could think of. It was sick and sadistic to me. Like she said, what kind of human can come to a place where your son is accused of taking someone else's child's life, and then to find out that you had a hand in orchestrating it? You gave him the time, you gave him the address, you gave him instructions on basically how to take someone else's child's life. That is the lowest of the low.
Roxana says Brooklyn hadn't seen Keith since Casey was 2 months old, and Sheila handled all communication and visitation with Casey. Brooklyn's sister tells NBC 15 News she FaceTimed with Brooklyn and Sheila while they were on a work break 2 hours before the shooting. She says everyone was laughing and talking about their weekend plans of taking Casey to the splash pad. Plans the young mother never got to enjoy with her baby girl.
When I think about it, I just think about excellent mother. To be so young and to be such a great mother is just amazing.
Keith was basically arrested immediately, but now his mother Sheila is locked up. She lives in Alabama, Keith too. In fact, all three of them are from Alabama, but this case will be prosecuted in Florida with the crime location in Pensacola. So when the story first came out with the mother possibly being involved, I saw some simps on Facebook looking at this picture here, talking about how attractive she was and to free her, which is the silliest thing ever. But all that changed when she got locked up and this mugshot here was released. How was this the same woman?
Papa! Who's this woman?
I don't know. That's why I agree all these filters and makeup is just witchcraft. And what I can't get over is how did this dirty, nasty basset hound show up to the balloon release, knowing that she had everything to do with this. She set that girl up, dared her son to take her out, and was the one who brought her to the store, coordinated all of this with her son husband, and had the nerve to show up to where her family was, mourning her loss that she was partially responsible for. Like, how did she even do that? No bond for Sheila, no bond for Keith. So this is starting off the right way. And then with all those text messages, witnesses, and evidence, there is absolutely no way that this is going to trial. I believe Sheila and Keith will enter guilty pleas. Keith is going to end up getting a life sentence. The mother, I'm not so sure what's going to happen with her. I believe they should give her the same sentence, whatever they give Keith. This woman is 50 years old. She knew better. Sounds like she was the main one pushing her son up to do this. And then why would she act like she's so cool with Brooklyn, picking her up, taking her to work, and then set her up like this? It's a lot more I want to say about Keith, his mama, these toxic relationships with these son husbands and their toxic mamas, along with these text messages that they sent each other. If you want to hear me talk about that, drop part 2 below in the comments. As far as Brooklyn, I do wonder who was guiding her. Didn't see a father or a mother, saw her brother and a cousin. I'm just wondering who was her guardian when she got pregnant by this young guy as a teenager. Did she see a boy in school or wherever with some different texture hair and easily fell for him when neither one of them should have been having a baby or be in a relationship that sounds like a lot of toxic behavior was going on? And then Keith was arrested just earlier this year for another DV situation involving another woman in Alabama. So he's definitely got a history of this. Sending condolences to the family of Brooklyn Sims, her daughter now without parents, only 2 years old, all because of this snake and her son husband. Son husbands are dangerous. There's nothing cute about it. Let's go ahead and get the conversation started. Why was Sheila so interested in getting her son to do this to his baby mama? A normal mother wouldn't encourage this behavior. Special thank you to Andre R. I appreciate you, Andre, for all of your support, as well as Judas Lion, Dark Power, and Jay Andre. Don't forget that you can support this channel as well. Links to Cash App and PayPal are below. Ladies, fellas, want a balanced analysis, want the truth from a woman's perspective? Then you're going to want to subscribe to this channel and don't forget to like and share.